Hi everyone, hope you're all doing well, and today I'm talking about why I stopped buying stocks this week. And Fridays is normally the day where I talk about these are the stocks I bought this week and the reasons why I bought them this week. But this week was a week where I just didn't buy any stocks, and looking at what's going on right now, it might be something that continues into next week, maybe even longer. But there's a few reasons why I actually stopped buying any stocks this week. I kind of touched on it on Patreon last night. We did a private live stream on there, and I was kind of going into a bit more detail about some sort of this sort of information, why I've stopped buying stocks. I also posted a video about a week ago talking about this, so it's something that I've mentioned previously and I've talked on Patreon, but I also wanted to make a video now about it because, like I say, Friday's normally the day where I talk about buying stocks, and I haven't bought any, so I felt like I would give my reasons why I'm not kind of buying stocks this week, and maybe going forward there's not many, well, not really any stocks I'm seeing that I want to buy at the moment, and there's a few reasons why. I won't go through it. Before I get into it, guys, if you could smash the like button, that'd be absolutely amazing. We did get to 7,000 subscribers yesterday, I believe it was, so thank you so much for that. I guess the road to 8,000 is now on, so we'll see how quick we can do that. But yeah, thank you so much for you guys that have subscribed to the channel. But yeah, we're gonna get stuck into why I'm not really buying any stocks at the moment. So I guess the first and key point is the valuation side of it. So I think, like, at the moment I track about 400 stocks, and normally every week I look into a good 10 to 20 stocks. Sometimes some longer than others, you know, sometimes some stocks are only being looked into 15 minutes and then I go, don't really like that company. And sometimes, you know, I get into like 2 hour, 3 hour, even longer looking into stocks. You know, like eHang, I spent a good few hours looking into that one this week, and Corsair, another company that I looked into very big detail this week, and there's a few other ones as well. Sometimes some of them just don't make the channel. But yeah, I mean, I look into a lot of stocks. I actually did a live stream last night on Patreon, and a few of the Discord members and Patreon members were sending some really good stocks over, so I've got a good list to look into this weekend, so maybe I'll find something. But general valuations are just really rich at the moment, and I'm looking at a lot of these valuations here, and I'm really sorry, by the way, I'm going to be doing a video where I'm just pretty much talking and not putting too much up, but valuations from this point of view now are very high, from even like S&P companies to even like the new upcoming companies. Like, obviously they tend to have a lot of hype, but I mean, IPOs nowadays, like, they're literally like tripling from IPO prices and stuff like that. And from a valuation point of view, like, me as an investor, I like buying great companies, but I like buying great companies at cheap prices. And if I don't see great companies at cheap prices, I simply don't buy them. You know, I don't buy great companies at okay prices. And same with stocks on companies. You know, if it's a good company, I don't buy a good company. I don't buy an okay company. I buy great companies. And that's one thing that I like to look out for, you know, undervalued and great companies. And sometimes I see this a few times, you know, people start buying companies that they kind of rate, you know, 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10. And those sort of companies I don't think about buying them ones. I buy companies that are, in my opinion, like 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 stocks. And I'm buying companies that I'm looking at and I'm like, I really think this company is going to do well. I'm 99% confident that it's going to go up. If I was to get asked to do a 10-minute speech by like why the stock's going to go up, I could do that as well. And if a family member went, here's £2,000, go invest it, would I put that money into that stock? Then if I'm having to do that, then I'll really buy that company. You know, that's the one metric that I like to think about is, you know, if your mum came to you and said, here's, you know, £5,000, go invest it into a stock, and if I'm looking at a stock and I'm thinking, would I put that £5,000 in it, then I normally rate that company quite high. If I'm looking at it and going, I probably won't, then I don't tend to buy it, and that's something that I always use as well. So yeah, that's something that I've always considered. And when I'm looking at the current valuations right now, that it's a very, very rich valuations out there, and I can't really seem to find great companies at cheap prices. I find a lot of great companies, but I struggle to find undervalued prices. And at the moment, I'm kind of can't really buy anything until I find something like that. So from a valuation point of view, I'm really struggling. Like, it's literally everything that I bought over the last even 3 months, like not even at the crash prices, like the last 3 months, everything that I bought has shot up. And I'm like, I can't buy anymore. Like Skills, I bought that one like 2 months ago now. The stock's up 70%. It's crazy. Tattoo Chef, I started buying that one like 3 months ago. The stock's up 50%. It's so tricky. Even stocks that I bought 4 weeks ago, Alibaba, it shot up 17% since then. And it's crazy the valuations that are going up. And this leads me on to the next two topics, which is new investors and YouTube. Now, from a new investor's point of view, I'm seeing a lot of new investors come into the stock market since March. You know, a lot of these investors had a lot of free time, these new investors, and it's not everyone. I got to say, it's, you know, I would say it's probably somewhere around a 50-50 maybe. And a lot of these new investors came into the stock market, and some of them have the right way of thinking, but some of them are looking at the stock market and they bought in March and the S&P is up like 50-60% and Nasdaq's up something like that, and you're looking at it and you're thinking, some of these guys only see the stock market go up every week. Like the stock market's literally going up 1-2-3% every week, and they're literally thinking they're untouchable right now, and the stock market just carries on going up, but it doesn't. And this is what investors have got used to, and this has now led to a new mentality of like, I can now take higher risks. And I've also seen it on the YouTube scene where people are now getting this mentality of that, like, stocks only go up, so I'm going to take more and more risks, and I'm going to buy more and more risky companies that will do fine. You know, I'm seeing this with penny stocks. I'm seeing it with SPAC stocks. I'm seeing people buying SPAC stocks that don't even know what company you're even buying. And to me, that's just mind blowing. Like an investor, it blows my mind that people consider buying into a SPAC stock that they don't even know what company they're going to have. And that's like pure like gambling mode to me. And it scares me. That really scares me from that point of view. And like I said, a lot of new investors, and you've seen it in YouTube scene as well, a lot of these new investors at the moment are like thinking we just go up and up and up. And the valuations, and we're actually getting into bubble territory now, where people are so in this mindset that they cannot lose money. And it's so scary at the moment with what I'm seeing people buying. And I don't even think they realise what this scenario is. And you know, a lot of these people are going to have a reality check from if the stock market goes sideways for 6 months, if the stock market goes down for 6 months, if the stock market has a 20% dip. Some of these guys don't really realise how quick that positivity can go to negativity. Like the stock market, when it goes up, it'll go nice and steady. But I tell you what, when the stock market goes down, you know it goes down. It goes down so quick. And a lot of people, and a lot of investors, and a lot of new investors, especially they're getting into these high risk stocks, when the reality check hits and we go in a bear market, or we downtrend, or we flatline, or we have a pullback of some sort, some of these new investors are going to get stung because they don't realize what stocks they're buying and why these are high risk stocks. And at the moment, all they're seeing is the high risk, high reward, and they're only getting the high reward. Not a lot of these are seeing the high risk part. And I believe this will probably happen within the next 6 months. And I believe there'll be a reality check. And when this reality check happens, we'll see so many investors, you know, leave the market, that these investors will then go and say, oh, don't invest into the stock market, it's a scam. Or they'll get scared out. You know, it happened in the tech bubble. The tech bubble, many people didn't touch the stock market for another 10 years. And a lot of these investors that are getting into these high risk companies, they're going to get absolutely stung. And they'll go, oh, the stock market's a scam, never invest in the stock market. But that's because they went for the high risk stocks, thinking they were only going to get the high rewards. And that's also pumping valuations up. You know, we're seeing companies now that, even the big companies that are trading at higher valuations than where they're at COVID. And the revenue and profit is nowhere near 2019 levels. Some are saying they're going to get there by Q3. I mean, I'm thinking maybe Q4. And that's one thing to be really careful of. And I'm even seeing it on the YouTube scene. Like, I'm seeing a lot of YouTubers, the YouTube scene has just totally changed in like the last 12 months. I'll go up towards 12 months side of it. Like, the whole scene has changed from, there's still some very good YouTubers out there, and there's some that give really good information out and share really useful tips. But I'm seeing some guys on the YouTube scene that are putting videos out and they're saying, oh, buy this hot stock, it's going to 5x, it's going to go up 5x in a week and everything like this. And they don't really realise some of the risks that are around here with these sort of companies. And it's scary from that point of view that they are in this, you know. I saw a comment when I did a stock market warning video that someone summed it up very, very good. Like, some of these new investors that came onto the stock market scene and the YouTube scene, some of these guys were called like dividend investing or something dividend or something like that. And then slowly their channel changed to growth stocks, and then they went from growth stocks to SPAC stocks, and now some of these stock market channels have gone from SPAC stocks to penny stocks, and it's like, whoa, hold on, in 12 months you've gone from a dividend channel to a penny stock channel. Like, what is going on here? And that's exactly what's happening. That's the total scene change over the last kind of few months that's happened. I'm seeing dividend channels with dividends in the name buying penny stocks, and it's like from one side to the other of the spectrum right now, and it's scary. And there's a point of view as well with the YouTube scene as well, is like, so many YouTubers now will like talk about penny stocks, and I don't really blame them for talking about penny stocks, because from their point of view is like, penny stocks at the moment are the hot things, and SPAC stocks, and there's a lot of people that flood into that because they've kind of got this gambling mentality now that they can get rich really quickly. But what I'm seeing from the YouTube scene is that a lot of these guys come on, they talk about a lot of these hot stocks, but I'm seeing plenty of guys that say, buy this hot stock, I'm going to go on to this article and it says, look, we're going to do this sort of revenue in 2 years, 3 years. And all they're doing is reading an article on like a website. There's no breakdown of, right, this company's going to be successful because this sector is growing this. It's not going to be it's going to be successful because it has this product coming out. It's going to be successful because it's the only producer of this product in this area. It's also going to be successful because this competitor is the only one that's in here. And all I'm seeing now is the point where there's people talking about stocks and they're not even giving information about a breakdown of why these companies are going to be successful. And that makes me nervous. Like, I've seen it with channels with 80, 90, 100k subscribers that are talking about stocks, but they just go, yeah, it's going to go up 5x. And that's it. And there's no actual hard information why they're going up. And that's scary. And I'm seeing some of these channels as well that are talking about these hot stocks. And some of them even now are struggling. And there's a reason why some of these channels that you see talk about a lot of these hot topics. There's a reason why they don't show the portfolios. You know, I try to be transparent every month. I show my portfolio, I show every position, I show how much it's up, how much it's down. I've shown it for the last kind of 5 years I've been doing this. And there's that transparent side of it. But there's a reason why a lot of these channels that buy in these penny stocks, you never see their portfolio. You know? And that's something you've also got to be careful of. And from their point of view as well, something you've got to remember is some of these channels that have gone from not even existing in March to 100k now, is that they've talked about the hot topics. And some of these guys have got, you know, only 2, 3, 5, 10k in the stock market. Like, they haven't got big amounts of wealth in the stock market. And some of these guys here on 90, 100k and stuff like that, some of these guys are making, you know, like 15k, 20k on YouTube. Now, from their point of view, what's more important to them? Is it to make the, you know, the 30, 40% on that 5k portfolio? Or is it more important to them to make that 15, 20k on YouTube? And I don't blame them, you know? If you give the option about, if someone doesn't have loads of money in the stock market, or they have the option to make 15 or 20k a month on YouTube, they're going to go to the YouTube. They're going to make them hype stocks. They're going to do the pump and dump stocks. You know, that's giving them the vast majority of their wealth. And that's what they're going to do. And I don't blame them. You know, if you've only got 10k in the stock market, or you can go make these pump and dump stocks that make, you know, 15, 20k a month on YouTube, they're going to go to that. And you can't really blame them. But this is just a big bubble that's going on right now, in my opinion. And it is frustrating to see. It's going to be frustrating when I know when it's going to happen. I know that when this happens, what will happen is that there'll be plenty of people that are commenting on videos, especially on a lot more of these hype stocks, that will say, oh, what's going on with so-and-so? Why is this down? Why is this down? And I even get it myself. Like, I'll get a few people that start posting on this, why is the stock market crashing and stuff like this? But I know the vast majority of my viewers appreciate, like, buying into great companies. I never post about any crappy companies on this channel, you know? And I know that a lot of my subscribers have got a great mindset of, like, buying great companies. When they're down, buy more of them. But I know that that will be the big change, is like when this happens, you'll see a big surge of like, oh, why is the stock market going down? Why is this going down? And oh, the stock market's, I'm not investing in the stock market anymore and stuff like that. And that'll be something that does happen. So I think this combination of like valuations, the new investors that have never seen a downtrending market, which will be very interesting to see what happens if we do have a downtrending market. And the whole YouTube scene at the moment is a very difficult place, and it's left me at the moment where I can't really buy anything that I like at the moment because of where we're at. Now, you never know. On the weekend, I might find an amazing company. I might think that that company's worth buying, and I'll go buy it. And if I do find a great company at cheap prices, I will still buy that company. But at the moment, I'm looking, and it's a very tricky scene out there. And yeah, it's something that I'm just seeing, and that's why I'm not bought anything this week. And it might be something that carries on for a while. There's also earnings season coming up, and I want to make sure I hold a bit of cash for earnings season if we get an amazing drop there. But it's a very tricky bit at the moment. So I would have loved to say like these are the stocks that I bought this week, but at the moment I'm just seeing a lot of red flags more than anything. So I thought I'd update that with you guys. I think it's really important that in the midst of where we see by this stock it's going to 10x, that we have also some more experienced opinions, and I've seen it with some other great channels. They are also mentioning the same thing, that it is a tricky situation at the moment, and we'll see what happens, you know. But I thought it was a really important update to do, so I hope there was some information there. I don't know how long the video went on for, but I hope you enjoyed it, and like I say, if you could smash the like button. If you are new, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.